Why am I always broke, no matter how hard I work? Over time, I realized something powerful. Most people feel this way. Most people are stuck in the same cycle, working, paying, surviving, and repeating. And the craziest part? It's not because they're lazy, not because they're irresponsible, not because they're doomed. It's because no one ever taught them how money actually works. This was the truth I had to face myself before anything in my life changed. When I was a kid, I watched my parents work unbelievably hard. They were good people, honest people, people who sacrificed everything. But no matter how hard they worked, we were always on the edge. Every unexpected expense was a crisis. Every financial conversation ended in stress. Every month felt like a race we could never win. One evening, I overheard my mother crying softly in the kitchen. She thought no one could hear her. She was holding a stack of bills in her hands, shaking. I didn't understand money back then, but I understood one thing. Being broke wasn't about effort. It was about knowledge. Or more accurately, the lack of it. That moment stayed with me for years. The cycle that keeps people broke, and they don't even realize it. As I grew older, I started noticing something unsettling. Most people repeat the same cycle without questioning it. Earn money, spend it immediately, cover bills. Hope nothing unexpected happens. Start from zero next month. It's not intentional. It's not stupidity. It's conditioning. People grow up watching their parents struggle. Society normalizes living paycheck to paycheck, and financial education is treated like some elite secret. This cycle continues for years, then decades, until people begin to believe, maybe this is just my fate. But it isn't. And I'm living proof. Most people stay broke because they do something incredibly common. They avoid the truth. They avoid checking balances, avoid listing expenses, avoid seeing how bad things really are. I was the same. But the day I sat down and wrote every expense, every debt, every habit, I felt sick. Not because the numbers were terrible, but because I finally saw the cycle clearly for the first time. Awareness hurts, but it's the only doorway to change. And in that painful moment, I understood why most people stay broke. It's easier to avoid the truth than to fix it. But I didn't want easy anymore. I wanted free. Here's the turning point. And it wasn't dramatic at all. It wasn't a raise. It wasn't a business. It wasn't a stroke of luck. It was discipline. Quiet, daily, unglamorous discipline. I made 3 decisions. Track every dollar, cut everything that didn't matter, save before spending, no matter how small. That's it. No secrets, no magic hacks, no get-rich-fast nonsense. Just simple, consistent action. And slowly, painfully slowly, the cycle began to crack. There was one month I'll never forget. For the first time in my adult life, I ended the month with money still in my account. It wasn't much, barely enough to buy a nice dinner. But emotionally, it was huge. It was proof. I called my aunt, the same woman who once told me she refused to let money control her life. I told her what happened, and she said something that I still hold on to. The moment you stop ending at zero, you stop living at zero. That line hit harder than any motivational speech I'd ever heard. Because she was right. The cycle breaks the moment you take back even 1% of control. Once I took control, even just a little, something strange happened. Opportunities I never noticed before started appearing. I found ways to earn a little extra. I invested tiny amounts. I learned new skills. I started thinking long-term instead of surviving month to month. Life didn't magically become easy, but it became possible. And possibility is the opposite of being broke. It's not lack of money. It's not lack of intelligence. It's not bad luck. It's something far deeper. Most people don't believe they can change. They think the cycle is permanent. They think the future will look like the past. They think control is impossible, but it isn't. Not even close. The moment you decide to rewrite your story, even quietly, even slowly, you already broke the cycle. Change doesn't start with action, it starts with belief. If you're watching this and you feel stuck, if you see the same patterns, the same stress, the same fear repeating, I want to tell you something. I wish someone told me. You are not broken. You are simply untrained. And training can change everything. Start with awareness, then with intention, then with the smallest habit you can stick to. Because little by little, month by month, choice by choice, you will create a life your past self never thought possible. Breaking the cycle isn't dramatic. It's quiet, steady, powerful. And trust me, if I could break it, you can too. Once I started taking control of my finances, something surprising happened. It wasn't just my bank account that changed, it was my entire life. I noticed small but powerful shifts. I stopped stressing over small setbacks. I started planning ahead, not just surviving the next paycheck. My relationships improved because I wasn't anxious or defensive about money. My confidence grew because I knew I could handle challenges. Even my friends began asking me questions. How did you change? Why do you seem so calm about money now? And I realized, breaking the cycle doesn't just affect you, it touches everyone around you. Because when you break free from the constant stress of scarcity, you create energy, focus, and positivity that spreads outward. It's like a stone dropped in water. The ripple reaches farther than you expect. Here's the truth I want you to take away. Breaking the cycle doesn't require a miracle. It doesn't require a huge salary. It doesn't require perfect circumstances. It requires 3 things. Awareness. Face your current financial reality honestly. Decision. Choose that you will change even if it's scary. Action. Take one small, consistent step every day. It could be as simple as tracking every expense this week, saving just $5 a day, learning one financial skill online, saying no to one unnecessary purchase. Do this consistently, and the cycle begins to crack. And I promise you, the moment you take that first step, you feel the shift, not just in money, but in your confidence, your mindset, and your sense of possibility. Because breaking the cycle isn't just about money, it's about freedom, control, and reclaiming your life. And that's the moment everything starts to change. Months after I started breaking the cycle, I had a quiet moment that changed everything. I sat at my desk, sipping coffee, and looked at my bank account. Not a huge number, just enough to feel safe. And something unexpected happened. I smiled, really smiled. Not the fake smile we put on when someone asks, "How are you?" but a deep, quiet smile of someone who finally feels in control. I realized the person I was a year ago, panicked, stressed, living paycheck to paycheck, was gone. And in that moment, I understood something crucial. Success isn't measured by how much money you have. It's measured by how free you feel, how confident you are in navigating life, how empowered you feel to make choices. This wasn't just a financial shift. It was a life shift. And it reminded me why breaking the cycle matters so much. One of the most surprising parts of this journey? Helping others see that freedom is possible amplifies your own growth. I started sharing my story with friends and family, not as advice, but as a mirror, a reflection of possibility. I remember my younger cousin messaging me, overwhelmed by bills and debt, saying, "I don't know where to start." I shared my simple steps: awareness, small consistent actions, and discipline. A few months later, she messaged again, "I can finally breathe. I've taken control of my first month's spending and savings." That moment reminded me, breaking the cycle doesn't just change your life, it inspires a ripple effect. Every person you help see the path to control, the path to freedom, reinforces your own commitment. And that in itself is a reward. If you're watching this and feel stuck, stressed, or trapped in the same old patterns, hear me clearly. You are not doomed. You are not too late. You are not powerless. Breaking the cycle starts with one decision. to face the truth about your money, to take control, and to act, even in small ways. And here's the secret most people miss. Small, consistent steps compound faster than massive effort done inconsistently. Track your spending, save a little, invest a little, learn a little. Do it every day, and the ripple grows in your confidence, your freedom, your life. Your past doesn't define you. Your circumstances don't define you. Your next choice does. So start today. Break the cycle. Take control. And watch how everything changes. Because the moment you do, your life begins again. If this video sparked even a small shift in how you see money and your life, don't stop here. Hit subscribe, join our journey, and let's break the cycle together. Because your freedom starts with one decision today.